project to its completion is not something Indian politicians are known for. Once the fanfare of announcing a mega project is over, very few of those projects actually see the light of the day. And the ones that do aren't actually executed as they were planned to. And that's why the story in Gujarat is so different. Both of Narendra Modi's promises of providing 24/7 electricity and creating an agricultural miracle are indicative of what leaders can do when they set their mind to it. Hello and welcome to the Ministers of Change. I'm Shireen Bhan. This week we travel through Gujarat from the cities to the suburbs and tell you how Narendra Modi has electrified this industrial state.
Light થી અમોને આટલી રાહત છે કે અમે 10 કલાકમાં જ કામ કરી શકીએ.
We find out how Gujarat has managed to become a power surplus state.
Biggest challenge was cutting down T&D losses, and it was only because of the political will that we have cut down losses ranging from around 40% to around 20%.
What's the real story behind Gujarat's agricultural revolution?
All those farmers in the first year of adoption of technologies, they have been able to more than double their yield.
And we talk to the farmers of Gujarat to find out just how much of the change is real and what more needs to be done.
जो मुनाफा हम नहीं लेते वो मुनाफा आज वो इंटरमीडिएट्स ले लेते, उसके ऊपर गवर्नमेंट का कोई प्रॉपर कंट्रोल होना चाहिए.
In 2001, like most electricity boards in the country, the Gujarat State Electricity Board was bankrupt. Losses were mounting, and in a state that places a premium on industrialization, erratic supply and load shedding were an embarrassment. The only way out was reforms. But power has traditionally been a political tinderbox. Elections are won on the promise of free part to farmers and lower tariffs to industry. But few regimes have managed to sustainably deliver on this promise. In 2001, in Gujarat, Narendra Modi's call was to institutionalize reforms, even politically sensitive ones. The scheme was called Jyoti Gram Yojana, and 10 years down the line, it's brought 24/7 electricity for domestic and industrial consumption in 18,000 villages in Gujarat and created a dedicated 8-hour power window for farmers.
This is the only state which doesn't give free power. When he takes a decision, he keeps the person down below on his mind and then take a decision. And he has the courage to take the toughest of tough decisions, if he knows that that is going to be beneficial to the common man in the long run.
Studies show that agriculture nationally consumes 85% of a state's power supply. Most of this is subsidized, and scant attention to monitoring translates to diversion for uses other than agriculture. So crucial to the reforms in Gujarat was the idea of a dedicated power line for farmers. 1,115 crore rupees was invested to lay down over 31,000 kilometers of parallel feeder lines, and over 6,000 transformer centers were set up in less than 30 months.
We decided that we want to give quality power, so we had so many substations. Today in the state of Gujarat, in one single year, we give around 140 new 66 kV substations, which is one point of time, average 10 to 15 were given per year. So because of substations, the farmers started getting quality power. We had less of line disruptions, so the consumers were satisfied. Secondly, we saw to it that we did not raise the tariff.
Simultaneously, 11.8 lakh metal meter boxes were installed for the prevention of power theft, and in the last few years, over 15 lakh illegal connections have been sealed and close to 20 crore rupees recovered by way of fines.
What are called T&D losses, which is losses of transmission and distribution, but in fact are theft and dacoity losses, in Gujarat have substantially reduced. I remember once walking into a chemist shop in the middle of the day, and think it was in Baroda, and that there was no light. So I said, "Kya bijli chali gayi hai?" And I realized, nahin, he had turned off the electricity. Why? Because he was saving electricity. Earlier, this fellow was stealing electricity.
In Sakra village, an hour from Savli in Baroda district, Kanubhai Patel, who runs a milk collection center, has been able to digitize all processes.
આ કોમ્પ્યુટરથી અને લાઇટથી અમને આટલી રાહત છે કે અમે અડધા કલાકમાં જ કામ કરી શકીએ બધું.
In the same village, Preeti Patel, who's been running this pharmacy for 22 years, can finally stock some basic vaccines and injections.
10 रुपीस का इंजेक्शन लेने के लिए गांव के लोग को बड़ौदा छानी में जाता था, 20-25 रुपया खर्च हो जाता था. वो मनी सेव होता है और टाइम वेस्ट भी सेव होता है.
And for small industrial units like this one, 24/7 uninterrupted power has meant an increase in productivity.
कभी काम कंप्लीट चलता है और ऑर्डर भी हम लोग दे सकते हैं जल्दी से और ज़्यादा ऑर्डर हमको मिलता है इस वक्त.
In distant Kutch district near Mundra, a self-help group attached to this snack-making unit has seen an increased participation by village women who start work at 4 AM before they get down to their household chores.
4 વાગે ઉઠી 5 વાગે ઉઠીને આપણે બટન સીધું લાઇટમાં જ આપણું ધ્યાન જાય સવારે રીતે આપણું કામ થાય.
એટલે અમે આખા દિવસનું 10-20 રૂપિયાનું કામ કરતા હતા. હવે અમે અંદાજે 80-90-100 ની આસપાસ પહોંચી જાય.
And across the state in Kadana village in Dahod, in what is Gujarat's tribal heartland, Jyoti Gram has brought electricity to homes but not to its farmers.
लाइन खींची दीदी, बाकी कनेक्शन लगायु नहीं है. गांव में 25% आदमी के पास में बिजली है घर में मीटर, बाकी आदमी के पास नहीं है.
While the state administration continues to add infrastructure in the last mile villages, Gujarat is one of the few power surplus states which sells its excess power. The state is also a pioneer as far as solar power is concerned. In 2 years, Gujarat will house the largest solar energy park in Asia with a power production capacity of 500 megawatts. This is being set up with an investment of around 8,000 crore rupees from companies like GMR, Tata Power, Lanco Infra and soft loans from the Asian Development Bank. Gujarat's electrification is closely linked to the turnaround of its agriculture sector. Farmers now get 8 hours of uninterrupted power supply, and the state government has also helped equip them with better irrigation and production techniques. All of this has resulted in Gujarat's green revolution, which means its agri sector has grown at 9.6% for the past 7 years. That's much higher than the national average of just 2.7%. Gujarat has become a case study of sorts because it has been able to achieve this impressive growth in spite of being drought prone, with 70% of its area classified as semi-arid and arid. While the Sardar Sarovar Dam on the Narmada has brought only limited benefits since its canal network is still largely incomplete, it is the most rudimentary measure of building over 10,000 check dams, village tanks and bori bunds that has gone a long way in augmenting water supply and recharging the groundwater table across the state.
उसके पहले तो हम ये कुछ नहीं कर सकते थे, खाली था. ये पूरा ये ऊपर ये मानसून का बारिश गिरता था, उसके आधार पे खेती चलती थी.
One of the key innovations I saw in the agricultural world was the concept of a Krishi Mahotsav. So fairs organized by government of Gujarat for the farmers, and not just the biggest farmers, but actually more the minimally waged farmers, the lower income farmers in fact, coming together with the markets. One of the key features has been how can you ensure the right skills and the right technology are giving the right demand. So the demand and the supply has come together.
And one of the new technologies that have yielded extraordinary results is BT cotton. Balubhai of Dawat village in Baroda district adopted BT cotton 8 years ago, and today he links it directly to his prosperity. Not only has his yields per acre doubled, a sharp drop in the use of pesticides and labour has meant his earnings have spiked.
ये बैलगाड़ा आने से हमारे पास ट्रैक्टर है, 2 ट्रैक्टर है, हमारे पास कार है, 2 बाइक है, और हमारे जमीन भी लिया है, 15 एकड़ जमीन भी खरीदा है. और 2 कुआं भी बनवाए हैं। ये ड्रिप का काम भी किया है यहाँ पे एक कुएं पे।
The success story of BT cotton farmers has made the state the top producer of cotton in the country. Better crop yields have given a fillip to associated industries in the state and transformed India from an importer of cotton in the last decade to the second largest exporter of cotton globally.
Directly impact life of 5 million small and marginal farmers, those who do not have direct access to all the technology which is available in the developed world. And in continuation of that, we started working with an NGO. We have launched a project called SARE, where we are working with an NGO called ISAP. We are working with 10,000 direct farmers. We are hand-holding them. And our experience is that all those farmers in the first year of adoption of technologies, they have been able to more than double their yield.
But the BT cotton story is not without its share of controversy. While the use of genetically modified seeds is the focal point of a larger debate globally, the beginning of BT cotton in Gujarat was controversial as well. In 2000, 2 years before regulatory authorities cleared the use of these genetically modified seeds for cultivation, they were illegally leaked into the market. Now, in 4 districts, BT cotton crop has developed a resistance to certain diseases, but this isn't putting off farmers, at least not yet.
अमेरिका है, मान लो कि अपना इजराइल है, तो वहाँ जो टेक्नोलॉजी जो चलता है, यहाँ आने में 10, 11, 12 साल लग सकता है, समझ लो। तो ये जो अपने गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी में थोड़ा जल्दी आवे, तो यहाँ का जो खेडूत है, उसकी उन्नति और बढ़ सकती है।
And one such technology pioneered in the semi-arid fields of Israel that has ushered in a second green revolution of sorts in Gujarat is drip irrigation. Realizing the need to conserve water, a scarce resource in most parts of the state, the government established the Gujarat Green Revolution Company in 2005 to educate farmers about the benefits of micro-irrigation. GGRC is the nodal agency that organizes subsidies, brings in private partners and monitors the distribution of these systems.
The MIS supplier has to provide maintenance for a year and provide agronomical services. Now this agronomical services is how to run the system, how much water to give, how much fertilizer to use, which fertilizer to use, if any cropping pattern has to be changed, suggest which crops the farmer should grow. These are the various agronomical services provided. It's a compulsory thing and it's a paid service. The farmer pays for the agronomic service, which is inbuilt in the scheme.
Creating a pool of suppliers who compete with each other for business and are monitored rigorously by GGRC has benefited farmers like Gopal Patel, who recently upgraded to a luxurious advanced system not covered by subsidies. But Gopal shares the lament of farmers across the country, that of unfair market economics, in spite of Gujarat being one of the few states that allows farmers to sell their output directly to private buyers.
उसके ऊपर गवर्नमेंट का कोई प्रॉपर कंट्रोल होना चाहिए कि भाई तुमने जो परचेज किया है उसके ऊपर तुम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन और लेबर 5 या 10% से ले सकते हो। ये मोर देन डबल हमारी जो कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन है उससे भी डबल जो मुनाफा होते हैं वो मुनाफा आज वो इंटरमीडिएट्स ले लेते हैं। हम सारी साल में जो लेते हैं वो 1 घंटे में वो लोग ले लेते हैं।
Coming up next on the Ministers of Change, we travel to Gujarat's tribal districts to see what the government is doing to bring them under the development net.